This show is presented by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute.
On today's show, we'll check out highlights from softball regionals. We'll also hear from Dr. Freiberg of the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our athlete of the week is Ian Ali from Fleming Island. We'll also check out the YMCA's first Coast Games softball tournament and the Special Olympics Healthy Initiative. And lastly, we will highlight the 4A Baseball District Tournament. We'll be right back. It's time for ITG Next. I'm Susanna Parmenter. We'd like to thank our sponsors, the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute and the First Coast YMCA. While sports is not a fashion show, uniforms play a very important role. Each team has their own emblem and color scheme, and it gives the team a sense of unity and identity. So today we'll be ranking the top 5 sports uniforms as listed by Bleacher Report. And coming in at number 5 are the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox have a very simple uniform that encompasses red, white, and blue. For some, it may seem boring, but for their fans, it gives them a sense of nostalgia. The names of the players have changed over the years, but the uniform has stayed the course. Coming in at number 4 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have used black and gold as their colors since the club's inception. The colors black and gold are representative of the 2 ingredients to create steel, coal, and iron ore. The team's current logo is based on the flag originally designed by Pittsburgh's U.S. Steel. Coming in at number 3 is the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are known for their green uniforms honoring their Irish roots. They even have special St. Patrick's Day uniforms and also a special edition Christmas Day uniform. Coming in at number 2 are the Oakland Raiders. The original Raiders uniforms were black and gold until 1963 when Al Davis became head coach and general manager, and he changed the team's colors to black and silver. Since then, the team's uniform has remained largely unchanged, but this sleek combo of black and silver has stood the test of time. Coming in at number 1 is the New York Yankees. Some say the New York Yankees have one of the most recognizable, loved, and hated uniforms in all of sports. The team colors are navy, blue, gray, and white, and they have distinctive pinstripes and a navy interlocking NY on the chest. And contrary to baseball legend, the Yankees did not start wearing the pinstripe uniforms to make Babe Ruth look slimmer. And our picture this week is actually a couple of my favorite college football team, the Florida Gators, and their famous orange and blue uniforms. And our video this week is of a crazy goal made by an athlete on the Portland Thorns soccer team. And now we'll check out highlights from softball regional.
You know, we just try to keep building upon any success that we have. We try to carry it over to the next game, but at the same time, more than anything else, we look back at our mistakes and try to figure out what can we do to kind of build upon that. So yes, we celebrate our successes, but we really try to focus on what we can do better. Well, that's kind of our goal here, honestly. Every kid who comes through this program, we try to get them ready so that they can go off and have a collegiate softball career should they choose to do so. Obviously, we have some kids who want to go military or perhaps want to learn a trade, but for the most part, every kid who's ever come through here who said, I want to play college ball, has gone on to play college ball. kids are just intrinsically motivated to win. We work hard all the time. We're not satisfied with just being mediocre. So that's kind of what drives us.
We recently hosted our Winter Sports Awards banquet. We were honored to have Dr. Brett Freiberg of the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute as our keynote speaker. Dr. Freiberg gave lots of tips and advice on how to live a more healthy lifestyle. Let's hear some more from his speech now.
I'm not the smartest person, but I feel like I have a lot more drive than most, and when people interview you for things like that, it shows. And you can sit down with anybody in about 10 seconds, find out what kind of person they are. Whether how they talk, how they sit, how they carry themselves, unfortunately, how they dress. You know, if they're in good shape, if they're not in good shape. I'm a doctor. I feel like we should be in fairly good shape if we're telling our patients, like, hey, you got to lose weight. Hey, you got to, really, your blood pressure's really high. We got to get you to calm down and get you to do some exercise. That's just kind of how I feel about it, and that's how I've always carried myself. And I feel like, with what we do, not just in the medical field, carrying ourselves very well, thinking of ourselves with a lot of confidence. You get any job in the world, any field in the world. That's what college is for, figuring that out. So I've been looking for kind of new challenges lately, been running and doing marathons or half marathons. And I've got a family now and 2 kids, and they're growing up, 4 and 7 years old. I'm sure the parents in the room remember yesterday when your kids were 4 and 7. It's scary watching them grow up, but how I relate back to that first story about my dad. He passed away 6 years ago from a real rare form of cancer, and pretty quick. So I never got to talk to him and sit down and say, I get it now. I never, and I always wanted that, but I do get it. He was driven in a way that most people are not, myself included. He put what he did and what he did for other people before anything. And I think that's admirable. I think it's incredible. For me, it was hard, but maybe he knew one day I would understand that. But, everybody's very different when it comes to it. I think that if you show people, the good side and everything, you show people that you are a driven person, you can go very, very far in life. So I had a talk with my wife about a year ago and said, I think I want to try to do an Ironman. I've swam before, been a long time. I can run and I know how to ride a bike. Why not? So for the last 11 months, I've been training to do that, and I've got that next month in Australia. So that's taking up a lot of my time, but it's showing my kids, in my opinion, that no matter what, no matter who tells you no matter how many times you think you can't do something, it's important to say, you know what, I can. You just have to start by putting one foot in front of the other. And you got to start by having a plan.
My name is Ian Ellie. I go to Fleming Island High School and I'm on the boys weightlifting team. My most memorable moment would have to be winning conference 3 times. It's probably I'm on track to win it again this year. I've made it to regionals all 4 years of high school, and I had a chance to go into state last year. I see myself being in real estate with urban development. And
who has helped you the most in your sports career?
it had to be my coach. Showed me pushed me to my limit, showed me full potential. My family has also been really supportive throughout my whole journey. I have to say weightlifting is really stressful sport, so being able to stay focused through stressful situations.
Sports inspiration and why?
It would have to be Liu Xiaojun. He's a Chinese weightlifter. He's set 9 world records and 1 gold medal in the Olympics and silver medals.
If you could play any other sport, what would it be and why?
Another sport I'll have to play is football. That's what got me started in weightlifting. I started out playing football and then transferred to weightlifting. I just set myself aside and get my mind right. Don't focus on anything else besides what I need to do. Never give up. It's always worth it. My name is Ian Ellie and I'm living in the game.
This show is presented by First Coast YMCA.
The First Coast YMCA puts on great events for the community, promoting a healthy lifestyle and togetherness. Currently, they're hosting their First Coast Games, which is an Olympic-style series of events which brings out the local business community to compete against each other. Recently, they held a softball tournament. Let's check out some highlights from that game now.
My name is David Pascal. I work for the Adecco Group.
I'm Sherry McDonald and I work at Healogics.
My name is Gigi Wallace. I work at Brooks Rehab.
My name is Robbie Knight. I work for Flagler Hospital in St. Augustine, Florida.
Hey, I'm Tony Luciano. I work at Morgan & Morgan.
Well, we're here to kick butt playing softball with a fellow co-workers.
So yeah, I mean the First Coast Games, this is my 2nd year doing it. It's a great way for us to link up with other companies along with other people within our company that we might not have connected with before.
So I did this 10 years ago with Brooks Rehab, and it was a lot of fun. And this year they brought it up at work that they wanted to do it. So when I found out about it, I was one of the first people to jump on it, and I was like, this is a great opportunity. You get to meet people from around Northeast Florida. I mean, granted, we're in St. Augustine, but you get to meet people from around Northeast Florida. You bond, you make new friends. A lot of times your coworkers end up going to work at other companies, so you get to see them again. So it's kind of fun.
I think just the camaraderie and the building the teamwork and building the relationships with the other people, and obviously it's nice to win and be competitive too, but.
Yeah, I mean, just the whole part of it being just camaraderie, coming together as a group, and like I said, trying to link up and see what other people within Jacksonville are doing is awesome.
It's great. This is probably one of the first jobs I've had in a long time where I've actually felt motivated to go to work because I enjoy the team that I work with so much.
It feels good. You get to see people be competitive in ways that you don't always get to see them be at work. Everybody does their thing at work. They might work hard, but to actually see them outside of work and being competitive and having fun with it, it's good to see.
A lot of camaraderie, a lot of togetherness. I mean, the best part about the games is whether you work in your department or you work in a different department, by the time the games are over, anyone that you're playing games with, you end up learning people from other departments and making new friends. I mean, when I worked at Brooks, I remember there was facts that, we would not know people from other sides and other parts of the building, and everyone would be having lunch together the next day. So it was pretty cool. If you want something fun to do with a whole bunch of people, that's probably the best thing to do. It keeps you active, it's not too crazy, and most of the time everyone goes out and has fun afterwards.
It's always an honor for us to recognize the Special Olympics and the great work that they do here in Northeast Florida. Recently, the Duval County Special Olympics hosted a Healthy Initiative where they offered athletes free health screenings. Let's check out some more about this program.
So Healthy Community, the Surgeon General kind of had a call to duty of all the health practitioners in the world and saying, you know, the individuals with developmental disability have a huge health disparity. For example, males die 20 years younger and just because they have a developmental disability. So there's a huge health disparity in that population, and that's why it came about, because we realized that we were serving the athletes, but their health really is quite important to not only their athletic performance, but just their quality of life. So we offer 8 screenings, and the different disciplines we do opening eyes, which is a vision exam. We do healthy hearing, which is a hearing exam. We do health promotion, which is testing height, weight, BMI, blood pressure, and bone density. And then we also have fun fitness, which is a physical therapy exam. So they do biometrics that test the lower extremities and flexibility and cardio output. And then we also have Special Smiles, which is a dental exam. It's a non-invasive dental exam, basically just checking, making sure that there's no urgent cases. And then we also have Strong Minds, which is our mental wellness and well-being exam, where we test, you know, how they're feeling, how they deal with stress, maybe give them some flexibility exercises, meditation, how they can improve their mental health. And MedFest, which is a sports physical. So any of our athletes are required to get a physical before they're able to participate in sports, and we offer this as a way to help them with the cost of that. Special Olympics is so important because it treats the athlete or consumer like a whole human being, as opposed to this is a person with a disability. We treat them like a normal, a typical person. And we offer so many things, not just health, we offer sports, we offer leadership opportunities for them. And so really it changes lives. So that's why it's really important. It really does, I mean, it sounds corny, but it changes a person's life. It gives them, you know, self-importance. It makes them, you know, just happier. It's amazing the change that you can see when an athlete comes through a screening or goes through a sport and wins a gold medal. It just, you know, gives you goosebumps. So I would like people to know that they are more alike than different. That you may be scared or intimidated, but they really just want the same things we want, which is, you know, to be loved, to have fun. They're really the same. So that's the most important, is don't be intimidated and don't be scared of them, because they're really an amazing part of my life. And if more people could be a part of this, I think it would just change the world, it really would. So.
Baseball season is beginning to wind down. Let's check out some highlights from the 4A district tournament.
Well, really, I expect what we've done all year long. Really, these guys have come together as a team and played together as a team and played for each other. You know, we've kind of been the underdog all year, and I don't think tonight is any different. You know, we're blessed to be in this atmosphere around 4 great teams that all have an opportunity to win the district championship. So we certainly are going to get out there and play as hard as we have all year long as a team.
You set an example. Let it be a good one. Now, in the name of the Father.
Oh my goodness, certainly this is probably team that likes each other the most. You know, I mean, to talk about truly a team. Certainly there's some great players on this team, but really they've come together as a collective group to be, you know, successful, you know, together. And this is certainly a playoff atmosphere. You know, with Trinity Christian and Providence going head to head, it doesn't get any better than that. You know, one of these guys has to go home. So it's really, you know, winning in or you know, lose and go home. So playoff atmosphere kind of gives you a little something different. You know, certainly a lot more on the line. You know what, tonight I've gotten phone calls from guys that have played for me the last, you know, 15, 20 years that are going to come out tonight and kind of take a look and see what we're doing. You know, the excitement, you know, to be able to send some of these guys on to the next level, to give them opportunities. You know, but more than not, it's going to be the guys that come back and as fathers, you know, and as men that say thank you for everything that, you know, that we as coaches didn't necessarily even realize we were doing at the time. You know, we thought the kid didn't like you at all, you know, because you gave him that hard love, but he comes back and says thank you for all those things. So that's really the most exciting thing for me, you know. So that's pretty it.
Jason, come on, man, it's time to get up. You gotta catch a bus.
Waking up your teenager can be a challenge.
Get up, get up, get up, get up.
Getting your news, weather, and traffic without wasting your time isn't. The morning show gets you out the door faster than ever, keeping you ahead of storms, traffic jams, scams, and rip-offs. You've got things to do, so take us with you. Stream us wherever you are. Enable push alerts for breaking news and weather. Getting him out of bed is hard enough. Let us help with the rest.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, the official sports medicine provider of the Jacksonville Sharks.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. We'd like to thank our sponsors, the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute and the First Coast YMCA. We recently hosted our Spring Sports Awards banquet last Saturday, and it was the last banquet of the season for us. And as always, I just want to remind everyone out there that it is such an honor for us to put on these events and recognize these athletes and all that they do and all the hard work that they do each and every year. Until next week, I'm Susanna Parmenter, and this is ITG Next.